She told me to wait in the car while she dropped something off at a friend's house. Seconds after she shut the door, her phone lit up in the cup holder. She'd left it behind. The message was from a guy named Mike. It said, "He's just sitting in the car. Come upstairs. I'll be quick." I didn't say a word. Just drove off. 3 weeks later, her dad showed up at my door asking if I'd send her stuff back. Life changes in moments, not the big planned ones like graduations or weddings, but the random ordinary moments that blindside you. For me, it was a Thursday evening in October. Allison and I had been together for just over 2 years. We met at a friend's housewarming party, clicked immediately, and became inseparable. I'm a software developer for a healthcare company, stable career with good benefits. Allison worked as a veterinary technician at the animal hospital across town. We'd moved in together 6 months ago, renting a nice 2-bedroom apartment downtown. We had dinner plans that evening with her college roommate, who was passing through town. On our way to the restaurant, Allison suddenly remembered she'd promised to drop off some paperwork for her coworker who was on maternity leave. "It'll just take a second," she said, directing me to an address in a neighborhood I wasn't familiar with. "Just pull up there by that blue sedan." I parked in front of a modern apartment complex. Allison grabbed a manila envelope from her bag. "Wait here. I'll be right back," she said, leaning over to kiss my cheek. 2 minutes tops. I watched her punch in a door code and disappear inside. I turned on the radio and texted her roommate that we might be running a few minutes late. That's when I noticed Allison had left her phone in the cup holder between the seats. As I reached to put it in her purse, the screen lit up with an incoming message from Mike W. "He's just sitting in the car. Come upstairs. I'll be quick." I stared at the message, reading it over and over. The implications were unmistakable. This wasn't a coworker's apartment. There was no paperwork, and whoever this Mike was, he clearly knew about me, knew I was sitting outside like an idiot. I felt sick. My hands started shaking, but beneath the shock and nausea, something cold and calm took over. This wasn't a misunderstanding. I wasn't reading too much into it. This was exactly what it looked like. I placed her phone back in the cup holder, put the car in drive, and left. During the drive home, my mind raced through recent memories with new clarity. The girls' nights that had suddenly become weekly events. The new workout schedule that meant showering at the gym instead of at home. The decreased interest in our usual weekend activities. The suspicious text she'd shield from my view. Classic signs I'd been too trusting to recognize. Back at our apartment, I moved with robotic efficiency. I packed a weekend bag with essentials, grabbed my laptop and important documents, and left. I needed space to think, to plan my next move without Allison's inevitable explanations and excuses clouding my judgment. I checked into a hotel downtown and finally looked at my phone. Multiple missed calls from Allison starting about 30 minutes after I'd left her at Mike's place. Texts ranging from confused to angry, to panicked. "Where are you? Why did you leave? Answer your phone. Did something happen? This isn't funny, David." No explanation, no confession, just demands and accusations as if I was the one who'd done something wrong. I texted back, "Once you left your phone in the car. I saw Mike's message. Don't call me again." Then I turned off my phone, ordered room service, and tried to figure out what to do next. By morning, I had a plan. Not for revenge. I wasn't interested in games, but for a clean break. I called my best friend Eric, explained the situation, and asked if I could crash at his place for a few weeks while I sorted things out. He agreed immediately. Next, I called our landlord. Our lease was in both our names, but I'd paid the security deposit and all utilities were in my name. I explained that I was moving out due to relationship issues and wanted to know my options. Fortunately, our lease had a clause allowing termination with 60 days notice and forfeiture of the security deposit. I initiated the process immediately, then I called my bank and froze our single joint account, a checking account we used for shared expenses like rent and groceries. I'd contributed the majority of the funds, but I wasn't interested in fighting over money. I just wanted to prevent any impulsive withdrawals while I sorted things out. By noon, I'd lined up a moving company for the following day and created a detailed inventory of what was mine versus Allison's. We'd kept most major purchases separate, which made this easier. Only then did I turn my phone back on. 43 missed calls, voicemails ranging from tearful to furious, dozens of texts from Allison, and a handful from mutual friends asking if everything was okay. Allison had sent a particularly long message at 3 a.m. "David, please let me explain. Mike is just a friend from work." The message was a joke. He knew I was dropping off paperwork and was teasing me. "Please come home so we can talk about this. You're scaring me." A convenient explanation. Almost believable. If not for all the other signs I'd been ignoring for months. I didn't respond to her, but I did text our closest mutual friends, letting them know Allison and I had broken up and I was taking some space. No details, no accusations, just facts. When I returned to the apartment that evening, Allison was waiting. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her hair pulled back messily. She jumped up from the couch when I walked in. "Where have you been?" she demanded, voice cracking. "I've been worried sick." I moved past her to the bedroom and began packing more clothes. She followed, hovering in the doorway. "Are you even going to talk to me? Give me a chance to explain." I continued packing without looking at her. The message was pretty clear, Allison. "It's not what you think," she insisted. "Mike's gay. He's my work friend." That message was just a joke. I finally looked at her. "Is that really the best you could come up with? That he's gay?" Her story was already falling apart. If Mike was just a work friend, why was I dropping her at his apartment under the pretense of delivering paperwork to a woman on maternity leave? If it was innocent, why the secrecy? "I swear, David, nothing's going on. I don't know why he sent that message." I zipped up my suitcase. "I'm staying at Eric's for now. I've given notice on the apartment. We have 60 days to find new places." Her face paled. "You're ending our lease without even talking to me. What's there to talk about? You're cheating on me." "I'm not cheating," she shouted, tears streaming now. "You're throwing away our relationship over a misunderstanding." I shouldered my bag and moved toward the door. "I'll be back tomorrow with movers for my furniture and the rest of my things. You can't just decide this on your own." She grabbed my arm. "We need to talk about this like adults." I gently removed her hand. "I'm not interested in being manipulated or lied to. I've made my decision." As I reached the door, she switched tactics. "Fine, leave, but don't expect to take anything we bought together, and you better keep paying your half of the rent until the lease is up." I turned back one last time. "The lease termination is already filed. The security deposit covers the penalty. Anything we purchase jointly can stay with you. I've only packed what's mine." Her face contorted with anger. "You planned all this in one day. Who does that? You must have been looking for an excuse to leave." The irony wasn't lost on me. I left without another word. The next day was Friday. I returned with the movers as promised and collected my furniture, electronics, and remaining personal items. Allison wasn't there at work. I assumed it made things easier. By Friday evening, I was settled in Eric's spare room, surprisingly calm despite my life being completely upended 24 hours earlier. The weekend brought a barrage of messages from Allison, cycling through anger, bargaining, and tearful pleas. I responded only once with a simple text. "Please don't contact me anymore. I've said everything I need to say." On Monday, things escalated. I received a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was Mike. "David, this is Mike Wilson, Allison's friend. We need to talk." I nearly hung up, but curiosity got the better of me. What could we possibly have to talk about? "It's not what you think," he said, his voice tense. "Allison and I aren't together. It's complicated. Not interested in your explanation." I replied flatly. "Whatever's going on between you two isn't my problem anymore." "Look, she's spiraling," Mike continued. "She showed up at my place last night, completely drunk, threatening to tell my wife about us. If I didn't help convince you, it was all a misunderstanding. That caught my attention. You're married? He sighed heavily. Yes. Allison and I, it started as just drinks after work. Then it became more. I tried to end it a month ago when my wife became suspicious, but Allison wouldn't accept it. She threatened to tell my boss we were having sex at work, which could get us both fired. So your text. I was trying to get her upstairs to tell her finally, firmly, it was over between us. I didn't realize you were actually in the car. She'd told me you were working late. The pieces clicked into place. Mike wasn't some random guy. He was her affair partner trying to end things, and I'd unwittingly given him the perfect opportunity. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because she's out of control. She's threatening both of us now, and I thought you should know the truth. After hanging up, I called my lawyer friend for advice. Based on Mike's call, Allison's erratic messages, and the situation overall, he suggested documenting everything and considering a restraining order if things escalated further. I spent the next 2 weeks settled into a new routine: work, gym, evenings with friends, or quietly coding at Eric's place. I started apartment hunting, found a promising place closer to my office. Allison's messages slowed, then stopped entirely. According to mutual friends, she'd told everyone I was emotionally abusive and had left her without warning. Few believed her, given how sudden and dramatic the claim was, especially from someone they'd seen happy with me just days earlier. Then came an unexpected visitor. I was at Eric's place when the doorbell rang. Eric answered, then called me to the door with a puzzled expression. An older man stood on the porch, looking uncomfortable but determined. "David, I'm Robert, Allison's father." I braced myself for accusations or anger, but his next words surprised me. "I'm here to apologize for my daughter's behavior and ask if you'd be willing to send her remaining things to our house in Portland." I invited him in, still wary but curious. Over coffee, Robert explained that Allison had moved back to her parents' home after being fired from the animal hospital. "Fired?" I asked, surprised. Robert nodded grimly. Apparently, her relationship with this Mike person violated workplace policies. He was her supervisor, though she never mentioned that to you, I'm guessing. No, she didn't. When his wife found out and reported them, they were both terminated. He stared into his coffee. "Allison showed up at our door last week, claiming you'd thrown her out without warning. But her story kept changing. Then yesterday, this Mike's wife called us." I listened as Robert detailed the call. How Mike's wife had discovered months of messages between them, how Allison had pursued Mike aggressively despite knowing he was married, how she'd threatened them both when Mike tried to end it. "We raised her better than this," Robert said, his voice heavy with disappointment. "Her mother and I, we don't understand how she became this person, but we want you to know we don't blame you for leaving. We would have done the same." I felt a strange sense of closure hearing this. I packed up her things before I left. "Everything's in storage. I can send you the key and details." Robert thanked me, then hesitated. "There's one more thing. Allison is getting help now, professional help. The therapist thinks she may have some significant issues we never recognized. It doesn't excuse what she did to you, but it explains some things." I finished for him after Robert left. I felt an unexpected lightness, not happiness. Exactly. But the sense that a chapter had truly closed. That was 4 months ago. I'm settled in my new apartment now, focused on my career and slowly opening myself to the possibility of dating again. Allison remains in Portland with her parents in treatment for what her father later told me was diagnosed as borderline personality disorder. As for Mike, his marriage couldn't survive the scandal. His wife left him, and according to LinkedIn, he's relocated to another state, starting over with a significant career downgrade. Sometimes I think about that moment in the car, staring at the message that changed everything. If I hadn't seen it, how much longer would the deception have continued? How much more invested would I have become before inevitably discovering the truth? In the end, I'm grateful it happened when it did. Not because it hurt any less, but because it gave me the chance to walk away with my dignity intact. No dramatic confrontations, no desperate attempts to save something already broken. Just a clear-eyed assessment of the situation and the strength to remove myself from it. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's recognizing your own worth and refusing to accept anything less. Update. Since many have asked, yes, I did start dating again after about 6 months. I've been seeing someone for a few weeks now. A software engineer I met through a mutual friend. We're taking things slowly with clear communication and healthy boundaries. As for Allison, her dad checks in occasionally. She's still in treatment and apparently doing better though. I've maintained my distance. Life moves on and sometimes that's the biggest victory of all.